You are watching Naga trending videos.
A woman in Uganda has done the impossible. At 41 years old, she has given birth to 44 children and says she will not stop. Even more impressive is the fact that this woman has no husband. Who is this person? How did she give birth to all of them at only 41 years old? What does she do that makes it possible for her to raise all these children without a husband? This story proves that no matter how many places you've been, the world can still throw surprises. Today we are in Uganda, heading to Makunu district in Kazawu village, which is a very long journey as it took us 2 hours and 30 minutes from Kampala. My parents named me Mariam Nabantanzi. I was blessed to have many children because 44 babies were a long journey as it took us 2 hours and 30 minutes from Kampala. Mariam gave birth to her first child at 13 years old, after being sold by her parents to a 57-year-old man. She says she had never enjoyed her life since she was young. It was even worse when she was forced to marry an older man to whom they gave birth to 44 children, and he left her. But after all the tough times this woman had, how can she still insist on having more children? Can she even distinguish the names of all children? Looking at these children all together seems like a gathering of local children. Putting them in one picture requires squeezing them. Finding a place to sleep requires bunked beds. Real name is Mariam Nabatanzi. Coming to this area asking about her or where she lives using those names, it's surprising because nobody knows this name. The neighbors call her Mother Uganda. This woman says that her names are entirely forgotten. After being visited by several foreigners, they chose to call her Mother Africa, which is her name today. There are others who prefer Mother Quadruplets because I give birth to 4 children at once.
Ababiri zaali badde enzaalo 6 naye abamu siboogera olw'ensonga nti lwavaamu enduteeka ebbali ne babeera nga nabo zaasigala.
Mariam was born into a family of 6 children. Her family lived in poverty when she was a teen. Mariam was the last born, and her father expelled their mother after her birth, and she left them with their father. However, their father, a furious, stubborn man, brought another wife a few days after their mother left. When the stepmother arrived, she hated all the children, harassed and refused to feed them, and did other evil deeds. Because of her cruelty, she killed all her siblings. Mariam says it's only God who saved her. Since no one cared about her, Mariam was taken to a man at just 12 years old. And the girl who wanted to study and become an important person ended up being forced into marriage. This has profoundly affected Mariam, as she is illiterate. When someone sends her a text message, she calls out to one of her children, even if it's a secret message. Mariam had marital misery, and she got it because of being mistreated by her husband, who later abandoned her. I was never happy in my whole years of marriage, because I never even got a chance to choose my husband. My father sent me to a man when I was only 12 years. That man already had other 4 wives, and I was the 5th. Since then, nothing has been easy for me. Why not, if I had a chance to meet a good man? And I would be glad to produce more babies, because giving birth is not bad, but the man with whom we make babies. Every man who falls in love with you needs to have babies. After having them, they turn their back on you and abandon their responsibilities as a parent. So, if only I met a responsible one, I wouldn't mind making more babies because childbearing is a gift from God. This mother lives with all her children in a small house she doesn't even own. She told us that she came to live here after her husband had sold the place they were living in and left. After then, Mariam immediately made her way to her grandmother's house with all her children. When her grandmother died, Mariam stayed in the house. Her relatives let her stay and asked her to pay for the home as little as she could because they realized she had nowhere else to take the children. Given the number of these children, how happy they are with their mother, how they play, and how they obey their mother, everything is interesting when you look at it. So we asked Mariam if she was born with the desire to have as many children as she has. In her words, she told us that she grew up wanting to have only 7 children. And when she found out that she had given birth to such a number of children at only 2 pregnancies, she immediately went to the doctor to have her womb locked up, but all contraceptive methods she tried to use never worked. So the doctors told her that it's impossible to stop her from conceiving. That even if it stopped, there would be negative effects that could even kill her. After seeing that I produce a lot of babies at the same time, and I went to the doctors and asked them to block my womb so that I wouldn't have more children, they told me that my womb has a lot of eggs, that it's impossible to stop it. They said that I should keep producing babies because it is what's best for my health. Life in this home is in order. Every activity has its own time to be done. And according to these children's daily life, you might think that they live on a high school campus. They sleep in a small place full of bunk beds. The adults sleep on the little ones down. Only there are boys and girls' rooms. It's mealtime, the children come in line, pick up their food, sit down, and eat. We were curious about how much food was needed to feed this family in at least one day. So we went to the market with Mariam to help her buy the food she needed to cook and replace each other in groups. And like that, every group respected their chores. In the evening after dinner, they do their homework, and those with no homework watch the TV all in their respective places. This home is always warm and welcoming, especially when they surround their mother dancing for her. They are a happy family. In this area, life goes on day and night. There is no significant difference between day and night. The locals always go to the mall, others are playing different games, and you can't starve because they usually cook on the streets. We spent the whole night in this home. When it was time, each child went to bed, and each child went to their respective room. In the dawn of the morning, all the children wake up, some begin cleaning, those who go to school go, others go fetching water, and everyone knows their responsibilities and does all their chores every day in order. This is Mariam's 23-year-old son, Atem Wazwa. He said he is very angry with their father because he abandoned them. He said that the only parent they will accept and respect is their mother, for she became their mother and father at the same time. I have never seen such a brave woman in the world as my mother. Look at the children you met today, and you're amazed. Yet many of them are in boarding school. I'm wondering what you will say once you meet them all. Their mother and everyone in the area confirmed that it's hard to raise such a large family as a single parent. And today, Mariam's family livelihood is based on making local herb treatments and selling them to the patients, which is also challenging because patients are not always available.